Hello, hello, Chaos Chorus. Welcome to Last Horizon, Coriolis game. Our crew is here at the benefit of all the cats that live on board. They seem to know all. And who knows, maybe they did just save them from being devoured by a nightmare's creature. But before we head on off to that, I would like to check in with our players and see how they're doing and who are there playing. And we will start off in our usual clockwise with Claire. How are you doing?
I am doing okay. It's actually just under 100 degrees here today, so it's not too bad. I live in the desert. I'm actually doing pretty good. I'm glad to be here. I'm looking forward to this game since last week, with Niles coming in, adding a whole new twist to everything. And there's been a definite change in Dahlia's relationship with Marco, so I'm really looking forward to this. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, we certainly had some backstory elements come up last time that were, made me tear up a little bit almost. It was so good. Thanks. And
that was good.
Person that shared those scenes are Unflappable Pilot, Marco. Colin, how you doing?
I am good, but to call Marco unflappable is such a lie. He is so very flappable. I have been flapped many times throughout this series. I am a nervous wreck. I'm thoroughly flapped. I am doing well, Shauna. Thank you. I've just had that scene was so incredibly fun to do with you last week, and that's just been running through my head all week, just thinking how are we gonna follow up on that? But now I have this. I know, right? We'll get there. But now we have this new guy here, and I have so many questions for this man who just came to us in a pod. So gonna have to divert some attention elsewhere. But looking forward to it, and hopefully today me and Fahar will finally get that drink.
It's been so long coming, and
4 episodes.
There have been more reasons to drink as time has gone on.
You got that.
And our preacher, whose belief has kept the crew alive from the scary stuff, hopefully. Okay, Hawkeye, how you doing? Oh, you did.
I'm doing fine. Eliab is relieved that whatever this thing that was chasing us, we were able to help fight off. We got a little help there at the end, but we got it to basically eat itself to death kind of thing. And looking forward to getting this ship docked somewhere and getting some repairs done so we can get on our way to our destination.
Yes, it's been a little bit of a journey. You're about halfway there, so fingers crossed I won't lie, things are probably gonna get complicated at some point. Otherwise, it's just like there is no show if it's just you just go there nicely. It's been fun time.
And they had a great vacation, and everything went well.
Yeah, it's like just one beach episode after another,
Just like, and then everyone was eaten by space demons, and it's like, oh well, sorry.
And that's a series wrap.
Well, yeah, that's those demons for now.
Yeah, and the other person is gonna have that drink. Our good old mechanic Bahar, who is dealing with a much quieter ship now.
I'm Greybeard's Tavern, and tonight I'll be playing Fahar, the space rat, basically the mechanic, the guy who tries to keep the bucket together, and she needs a lot of love and care right now, so we'll see what happens. Also, too, he's having a crisis of religion because one of his gods seems to have died, and he blames himself for it, so little rough.
Yeah, I was going to say the ship being a lot quieter was a really nice way to say the death of God.
I know.
Not death. It's
deactivation.
out of commission.
Just a little stake in the heart.
Bless you. I got you, buddy. I got you.
All right. But that's me.
And our mysterious new passenger crewmate threat. Who knows? Spence, how's it going? And how is Niles?
Spencer is doing fine. Niles, on the other hand, is a little scared because he's on a ship with completely new people that do not trust him. And we'll see what questions are asked of him and see if maybe by the time to get the Coriolis, they trust him a little bit, but we'll find out.
I mean, Niles did come in at a decently bad time.
Yeah.
Long as you
Stings a
don't
little
have
bit
any
when
more
someone goes
close
missing.
friends of yours following you.
Yeah. And before we actually get into it and figure out what awaits the crew, the possibility, a few messages from Past Charlie.
Past Charlie here to tell you about a few of our sponsors. Fantasy Grounds is our virtual tabletop of choice, providing us access to roles, tokens, maps, and more. You can try it today for free at fantasygrounds.com. While you're there, why not check out Fantasy Grounds Unity? World Anvil is a remarkable resource, whether you're a writer, GM, or player, organizing your campaign notes or building an entire world. Get forging today for free at worldanvil.com. And before we get into today's game, we'd like to shout out our friends at Andrews McMeel Publishing, who published the wonderful game Zweihander. If you haven't checked that out, you can catch it here on Wednesdays. We'd also like to mention Modifius, who manage and produce a wide range of RPGs. Whether you feel like being Dishonored, exploring a tale from the loop, or boldly going with Star Trek adventures, why not check out modifius.com.
Thank you, Charlie. And we're back with our crew, who got into a job that they maybe didn't expect. Mysterious passenger, some artifacts that came from a planet, and a mysterious passenger that showed up. Survivor of a less lucky ship. And we're lucky enough to survive a little bit of a scramble with the nightmare's creature with the Bajin. Nightmare's little creature. Chaos. With came out mostly intact. But sadly, they sustained heavy damage and lost the cargo hold. So the cargo lifter and the artifacts are now somewhere in deep space as the crew is being escorted back to the flotilla of the Ganj-i-Sawai, a trade ship, one of the great trade ships of the Third Horizon. And thanking the lucky stars or the icons that they managed to get out of it, we have the crew. How is the crew spending this brief escort time with their lives intact?
Do I still have to fly this thing, or are we being like towed?
Oh, you're flying it. I mean, you can put it on autopilot, like if you want to.
Why would I want to do that?
Yeah. Oh yeah, because the autopilot isn't here anymore.
Yeah, it died.
Sadly.
So Marco's very sadly sitting at the console piloting the ship at low speed, kind of doing 20 miles per hour around the parking lot to get us into this station.
Fahar would be making the repairs he can while we're still moving. If we were to stop, we do have the workshop and stuff, so we could do repairs in space, but it's probably best if we're this close to go ahead and get to a space dock.
Dahlia's
Do
going to go
the,
find Niles.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, good.
Oh. Yeah, Far, you're doing what you can inside. It's most of the big, thankfully, the big systems like the reactor, life support, engines haven't been hit, but for the most part, the cargo hold is a total loss. Thankfully, the hull is sealed itself. The emergency closures have stayed in, so that area is separate from the ship and hasn't decompressed any other areas. Also, the fact that, judging by what you can tell, the armor got dealt some incredible damage. Just several layers that have been just shorn away or melted off of it, and you realize you probably have a good deal of work cut out ahead of for you with the facilities. And you know that just by these trade ships that they have all the amenities for ships that would need, and including extensive repair bays. So that's a little bit of good news. Go ahead. You're looking for Niles?
Yeah, she's looking for Niles. I mean, she'll once she finds out from, she'll check in with Fahar and see if get a list of things she can do to help. But first, she's going to go track down Niles.
Niles will be on the bridge. Just a heads up. Sorry.
On the
Go
bridge.
Ahead.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I missed the
Dahlia-
order she was doing that in, so I thought she
would get
in first.
Yeah, she's going to get to you first to get a list of things tasks that she can help with. But before she gets started on them, she's going to talk to Niles.
It's mostly security stuff because we can't do much while we're still in the air. So it's just lock things down, check. You're going to do the visual sweep.
Yep. Make sure all the weapons are secured. That good stuff. All right. Yeah.
Cool.
So, Niles. Yes.
Yeah.
What's your name?
That's
Why
my
did
name.
you bring that thing with you?
I didn't think I did. Thought whenever it blew up the ship I was on, it would just move on. Didn't think it would follow me.
Yet it did for 2 days and didn't attack you.
Listen, I'm just as confused about the whole situation as you are, but I don't know what to tell you. I don't have answers. I was in stasis for 2 days. If I wasn't, maybe I could give you a better idea.
Marco spins around in his chair and says, "You know what I'm confused about? Why y'all are having this conversation here. Trying to fly the ship."
Are you saying
You
that
feeling-
a great skilled pilot gets distracted by a little conversation on the bridge?
Well, look, we needed the new guy on here when we were being attacked by a space demon, but that's over now. So unless he's really part of the crew, I'd rather not have him on my bridge. Thank you kindly.
Fair enough.
Your bridge?
Our bridge, excuse me.
And I'm assuming as Dahlia and I are leaving to go somewhere a little more private for this conversation, he's just like, last I checked, you told me welcome to the crew. So
I think that lasted only as long as combat and your usefulness. So
what else do you want
What
to
do
know
you know?
about me?
I want to know what you know about that thing.
Telling you right now, the time I saw it there, the first time I had seen something like that, I saw fire, I don't know, the same thing that it hit us with was what destroyed the ship that I was previously on.
But it didn't destroy you.
I don't know, maybe the judge protected me. Like, I'm not exactly the most zealous of individuals, but I like to think that the icons watch over us.
So you don't think this is a judgment being visited upon you then?
I did a lot of stuff back home, but not things I think warranted that thing.
Right. I will show you to your quarters. You consider yourself confined. Until
Fine.
the captain says otherwise. And she'll escort him to his quarters. And then she'll, after she sets the lock, she'll calm the captain directly to let him know that she's put Niles into his quarters until such time as the captain decides that he feels secure having him around.
Eliab will acknowledge that, and he's going to think about things a little bit as far as that's concerned.
So, like I was saying,
And,
Captain, I'm not saying I don't like the kid. I just don't know if we can trust him yet.
I know, it just seems a little weird that that creature would follow. Kind of hard to think that we just randomly ran across the same thing that attacked his ship.
Space is a big place. I mean, it doesn't seem likely. And he
Yeah.
floated out there for a couple days, and it just followed him and didn't do anything?
Unless
weird.
that, the other thing I can think of is maybe that escape pod's so small that it couldn't track it, but as soon as it got attached to us, it could find it again.
Possible. Or maybe it was using it as bait, knew it would attract a larger ship.
That's a possibility too. Or maybe that thing just doesn't like spaceships.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that one, based on the evidence I've seen so far. Yeah. I mean, we didn't do anything to piss it off.
Yeah, all I can say is I don't care for them too much either. They can go ahead and just stay away. That was nip and tuck.
You ever been to this station before, Cap?
This one, no. I think I've been to one similar before, but nothing to the size and scale that this is.
I think I have, but it's hard to remember. I've been to so many of these.
Yeah,
This
they all kind of
looks
blend
familiar.
together after a while. Looking forward to walking around, seeing what they got. Getting the girl back fixed and everything, so we can get back on our way to Coriolis.
Fahar and I are supposed to have a drink. I know you don't normally join us for that kind of thing, but considering recent events, want to come?
Well, you're right. Normally, I probably wouldn't do anything like that, but after what we just gone through, that sounds like a darn good idea.
I had a feeling you'd see it my way. All right, let's do it. I'll get us in.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm sorry, Kat, I cut you off at the beginning.
Nope, it's all good.
No.
Dahlia's just going to go secure the weapons.
Oh, okay.
Make sure that everything's secure before we dock with the station.
Okay.
As
I'll be down in the chapel if you need me for anything.
All right. I'll keep it steady.
Right. As everyone kind of goes about their various duties around the ship in preparation, Marco, you see the Ganj-i-Sawai just approach get larger as you get within its visual range. It's a large ship. It's one of the very, very first colony ships meant to take people long distances, long journeys. It's not a pretty ship. It's more like a collection of large modules, rectangles, attached to an engine. But what
Very,
you know,
very thrown together.
well, not necessarily thrown together. Just it's utilitarian in a way that old ships were.
Right.
But the one thing that kind of like is different about this one is that its hull has been painted a rich bronze. And you get closer and you see it's suffered all the ships. There are probably like 15 to 20 ships in this little, on the outside, following in this little mini flotilla. A lot of them seem to have little bits of damage here and there. Hey, Ray, thanks. Oh, thank you, Gibran. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. The ship has just approached the one of the big colony ships, and they need to because their ship has been pretty much torn to pieces at this moment. Who knows what they have on there? They have a man that they don't know, and who knows, maybe a few other stowaways. But as you get closer, you can see that this ship has had a few alterations to it. There's multiple docking rings on the side, a few extra modules thrown on one side, which is an open just area where there are these just mainly for incoming ships. And I want you to actually make a as you're observing all this, make a roll, observation roll.
Observation?
Or, yep.
Okay. Not my best. In fact, one of my worst. Yeah, fail. Nothing.
Alright. Nothing.
2
See a
5s
bunch
and a
of-
3.
Alright, what you can tell with this is these aren't the usual. Usually if things were normal, you would see mostly bulk freighters, a bunch of like ships like yours, trade ships, because mostly what these ships are used for, what is beneficial to ships like yours is that there is a great amount of traffic with portal stations, and these ships, these great trading ships, get codes, the calculations for the portal to make them jump safely, which are usually incredibly expensive. So kind of attaching yourself to one of these big ships, purchasing the codes, sharing it around will make the trip much easier and much cheaper. So usually that's why there's so many ships. But what you observe is that there are more disparate types of ships here. There are some fighters. There's some just passenger liners that aren't necessarily supposed to be here, and all of them seem a little more worse for wear than you'd normally see as the ship.
How old do those ships look? Like, do these look like obsolete? Some of these other
I
ones?
mean there are a few. It's a little bit of everything at this point. It's just kind of like it's less of it's not necessarily a fleet. It's more just a collection of ships following. It's like a remoras on a whale or something like that.
I was just thinking, yeah, it's like barnacles. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you can see multiple ships attached to the outside, like docking rings. Yeah,
Okay.
these are all.
Well, since we're
go ahead. There's some new ships, and then there's some ships that you're not entirely sure should be still flying around.
Do I recognize any of them? even with my terrible observation roll.
You do not. You don't see anything.
Okay. Terrible observation roll.
It's just- it might be just the relief. Your guard may be down a little bit, or just exhaustion from what's apparently a very, very eventful few days. Probably haven't had a good sense of sleep.
One last question: is this an unusual number of ships here? Is this like I said, I've been around these type of trading ships before. Is there like more than you typically see here?
Yes.
Ah,
There's
okay.
maybe double the amount of ships.
Aha, interesting. Well, since we're in visual range, I'm going to hail the Ganj-i-Sawai to request docking. So, send a transmission, see if I get a ping back.
Yes, friendly voice says this is the Ganj-i-Sawai ship.
This is Marco D'Artavian, pilot of the Possibility, requesting docking.
More than happy to proceed to the main hangar bay, and we'll see what we can do. Looks like you've sustained some damage.
Yeah, we're going to need a
apparently you
repair
wanna
bay
work
if you've
one.
got one open.
Of course, we'll have representatives meet you down. Good old.
Very good.
Well, glad that the distress signal was real. Sometimes they're just decoys, but glad we found another ship. Proceed.
Distress signal. Did we put out a distress signal?
The escape
think we
pod.
did.
It was
the
the
escape
one
pod
from
did.
Niles' escape pod. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if I should tell this person that.
The comms have kind of switched off again. Like you assume by the amount of ships coming in and out, it's more like, hey, you're free to.
Yeah, sure.
You're free to
Yeah,
land.
come on in.
But
Yeah. All right. I
Air
will park the
traffic
car.
mhm. So you're guided in. Combination of the ship kind of like it guiding you into the busy hangar bay. Pretty by standard by the book, so you'll land in no time.
All right.
So you hear
I'll
the
ring the comms.
as-
I was just gonna let everyone know. Just ring the
yeah,
comms.
so you just hear like
Uh,
the kind of like the little like jostle as the landing gear like makes contact with the deck, and the engines spin down.
I'm just gonna call over the comms. I'm sure you all heard that and felt that, but we have landed on Ganj-i-Sawai. Just in case you weren't paying attention, somebody let the kid out of his room, I guess, or not.
Yeah, we can go ahead and let them loose for now.
Would Dahlia know if this is a place where we could do some trading or selling of items, or is that going to need to wait till we get to Coriolis?
Oh no, this is from what everybody knows. That's what these ships are made for kind of a little bit of that hustle and bustle, that commerce just kind of floats around to the outer edges of the horizon. Just
So she's going to take all the weapons that they were planning to sell in Coriolis. She's going to, put them in a duffel bag, in a bundle, and then she'll go find Eliab and let him know that that's what her plan is to go see if she can offload some of these.
Sounds good.
Niles, it's been a few minutes. This is a good amount of time. What are you doing? Are you just waiting it out, being a good passenger with these apparently irate group of
Yeah.
people?
Even though his gun has no, because I remember Dahlia took the battery and the clip, but not the physical gun itself, right, Kat? Okay.
That is correct.
He's just doing some routine weapon maintenance, just sort of cleaning it down, taking it apart, making sure everything's fine, then putting it back together. And he's just gonna, even though he's not in the chapel at the moment, sort of just say a quick prayer to the judge to ask one question.
Sure, what is it?
Can this crew be trusted?
And you just hear a voice. Praying to them, like to the judge, will not help you. And how many times you do it, no matter how often you look yourself. But I hear you. And no, they're not to be trusted. Apparently they are a great threat to me.
Is this, to reference my first time here, is this the same voice I heard whenever, I did the whole flagellation thing in the chapel?
Yes.
He's just like, in his head is like, okay, weird.
You feel a coldness. Just kind of like in your arms a little bit, like slightly like you're kind of like it when you're falling asleep.
Hmm.
The mechanic.
What about the mechanic?
Is the only person of faith here.
He kind of just sits and just sort of takes that in, and after that he stops what he's doing and sort of just waits out until somebody gets him from his room, since he's locked in.
I'll go ahead, since the chapel's probably not that far away from where the visiting quarters are and all that. I go ahead and undo the lock and let him out. Looks like we've arrived. Feel free to leave the ship if you want to stay with us. Just make sure you're back when we head out. If you decide to go other trails, good luck to you.
Well, considering that I don't have ammunition right now, I think sticking with you guys is probably the best option.
Understood. I think we're all going to be taking a little equivalent of shore leave here in a little bit. Feel free to join us if you want to stay here. That's fine. What you do is entirely up to you.
I've been out in space for a couple days. I think I can use having my feet on solid ground somewhere, even if it's just a huge ship.
Well, it's probably a lot more solid ground than either one of us have been on for a day or two, that's for sure. So come on out.
He'll just slowly, walk out. It's like almost like making sure that there isn't a gun just being held to his back as he's walking out of the ship.
I keep an eye on him, make sure I stay a couple paces back just so he knows that I'm not sticking anything in his back, but just let him know that I'm keeping my eye on him.
All right.
Once Dahlia's gathered up the weapons, she'll stop off and she'll go find Fahar, ask him if there's anything that he needs picked up. I'm assuming that he's probably already talking to the repair dock people, etc. But if there's anything personally he needs to pick up, and then she'll do the same thing with Marco. She'll find Marco and see if there's anything that he needs her to pick up, because she's going to be selling the guns. They're worth a fair amount of beer.
I mean, if you could find some advanced parts, like 2 advanced parts, that'd be amazing.
Okay. Would she know what that meant?
Yeah, he basically will slide it to your data pad or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, I'll see what I can find.
And have we discussed? Are we just replacing the cargo hold? Is that the deal? Or do we want to, at this point, mod up and put in the torp and mine launchers?
Well, if we do that, where would we put them? Would we have to take the arboretum out?
No, because we're missing the cargo hold. We can use that space, but any cargo we carry, we'd have to put in the stash. So if someone came aboard and we're like, we're a cargo ship.
Man, where do you keep all the cargo?
All the cargo.
Yeah, we have to come up with a whole new bit.
Yeah, we probably better make sure we put the priority on replacing the cargo hold.
Yeah.
That way,
All
at least that way we look like what we're supposed to be looking like.
Okay, so then, because that's 50 tons, we could go with the other route and take out the stash and put in the launcher. Then we got no hiding place.
Yeah. We'll need to think
Hide in the
about that
arboretum.
a little bit.
Stick it inside a tree.
I
Don't you
don't
dare.
think trees work that way, Marco.
I don't admittedly know anything about trees. This is the first time I've ever seen a tree when I got on the ship, so I don't know.
Yeah, that might be a little bit difficult.
I like the idea. These like torpedoes we're smuggling, all like with ferns taped to them, up in the arboretum.
Painted green. It's just like
Uh-huh.
not
You
really
wanted
fast,
to-
but PR.
Can't you tell this is a raid?
I was gonna ask Kat to pick something up for me. I want a grenade.
A grenade, a singular grenade.
A singular grenade. It is a last-minute maneuver.
There is
One grenade.
there is nothing more dangerous on a ship than a grenade.
Yeah, nothing dangerous about that in your hands at all.
You want a grenade? She looks at Marco like,
I mean, yeah, kinda, a little bit. Is that weird?
Marco's got a good taste for murder now. So
Just
So
in
he's like-
case. Look,
what are you going to do? Blow yourself up?
no, I'm not a suicide bomber. No, I mean, just in case we are. Things have been kind of weird lately. I don't know if you've noticed. There's been like random pirate invasions and a space ghost, and now there's this guy. I don't know. All I'm saying is insurance policy. That's it. Just like need to clear a room of baddies, grenade, boom.
Right.
It's okay if you don't want to get it. I'll get it myself if you don't want to buy it. I
No,
understand.
no.
It's-
I'll do you specify a fragment grenade?
yeah, frag grenade.
Okay, because otherwise she was going to get you a flashbang if you didn't specify.
It's just,
I
yeah,
mean-
I'm looking at the
you could always just give him a flashbang. It's like, here, this is a real grenade. Hey,
It's safe
Yeah.
for you. Just don't tell.
Yeah.
I don't know the difference, probably.
These are
Okay.
these
yeah.
are the training
So
wheels.
it's like,
this is like if you can behave yourself, you'll get your real grenade. This is your training grenade.
show me you
Not so
can
you don't
use
hurt
this
yourself.
responsibly.
Do you want to hold it?
Yes.
You can hang on to it.
No, I will get you a grenade, Marco, if that will make you feel better. Yes, and a baseball so you can practice. And she's got a shopping list for stores and things like that. Replace food supplies, that kind of thing. And then she will head on out to go sell some
hey.
weapons and.
You
Yeah.
know that goop that you made for Niles?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you get anything but that, please?
Okay. We're still going to have some of that because sometimes once the fresh stuff runs out, we have to have something to eat. So,
I know. I just want something to look forward to. Just anything
all right,
small.
okay. And Dahlia will make a note to pick up fresh fruit, either an orange or an apple or something like that. If there's fresh, I don't know how readily available that kind of thing would be, but she'll, if it's pretty rare stuff, then she'll, you know, try to pick up an orange or an apple or something like that.
I mean, can of peaches will do me.
Oh, she's not telling you this. She's
Oh, good.
yeah, no, you don't know. She's just she's like,
All
okay, right, got it. There's
Thanks, Dahlia.
nothing else. Do you need more cat litter?
I think it's still Eliab's turn to change. You should probably ask him. I think he's up on the cat litter rotation. I'm not sure what the status is on the cat litter right now.
You do know that just because he's on the rotation doesn't mean he actually does it.
Oh, I know. I know very well. Yeah. I'm just hoping that if we keep bringing it up, eventually he'll do it. Yeah, you know what? Just get more. It can't hurt to have. I mean, we don't even know how many cats we have, so it can't hurt to have more litter.
And Dahlia goes shopping.
And
I'm gonna pop in real. If Dahlia is okay with it, Niles wants to go with her.
Give eyes back and forth to Dahlia and Niles.
All right.
What do you know? All right. I'll see
Easier to
the
keep
three
an eye
of
on you
you.
that way.
I'll see the three of you later, I guess.
Sounds good.
the
I'm gonna look at Niles and say, "Good luck."
as the as you all approach the open and gangplank down, you're approached by a very I'd say mid-30s woman, dark skin, hair is tied back, but there's a few strands loose as she looks like she's a little like harried at the moment. Crew of the possibility, correct?
Correct.
That would be great.
Guilty as charged.
Captain?
Well, that
Look.
would be me.
She'll oh good. She'll I am second in command of the ship. Glad to meet you. Glad you made it safely. I am Amara. And here's the paperwork that we're gonna have to pay the information for docking, everything else. She'll kind of just on her tablet just kind of like make a motion to like send, and you'll get that on your. All
right, I'll pull it out. Is it the standard legalese and stuff like that we've seen at other
Yes.
places that reported? Okay.
Yes.
All right, looks good.
At that moment, you see like a trio of cats just like dart. It's like, well, there's paper. Oh god.
Oh,
We have so
we're
much
sorry
to
about
deal
that.
with.
Sorry.
Yeah, as you get a good look around, it is chaos right now. There are way too many ships on this. There are people running around. You just every the clearly marked maintenance crew in their jumpsuit. You just see them. You don't see any of them still. They are running around, and everyone kind of has the look of like not necessarily. Usually with these ships, it's usually pretty professional. Everyone's shaved, put together. At this moment, there's a bunch of just like 5 Black Shadow. Uniforms are a bit rumpled, hair's a little bit out of place, and it's been going on for a while. Yes.
Fahar has a thing. He doesn't notice the people because he grew up with the space pirates, so that's what people look like all the time. But he does notice all the ships. Do they look like they've taken the same kind of damage we have?
You see a few that have that same. Now that you have a good exterior view of the ship, you see the damage to the plating, how it looks rather than hit by like accelerator cannon or a railgun, it looks melted. Like almost if it had been a luckier hit, looks like it just glanced off the side, but the way it kind of punched through the hull. If this had hit you straight on, it would have been the end of the ship. And as you look around, as you see this just like kind of melted like gash in your ship, you see a few of the other ships have the same amount of kind of like that melted scoring to it, but not all of them. A few of them have like what you would normally see, like what you're fairly familiar, being your background, like kind of like just like close combat, like cannons, ion scoring, stuff like that.
All right, and I'll tell someone later on, not in front of this person. I did. I don't know how you want to play it, Shauna, but I did the math on the damage for the ship. So unless you just want to like hand wave that and figure it out later, like I said, I did do up the math. It's almost 20,000 burr to get the ship built back up.
She'll do you say that out loud?
I would give her a repair list, like this is what we need fixed, kind of thing, and then see what she says, and then I would like to haggle and use my merchant ability to cut it in half.
Yeah. She kind of like quirks her eye a little bit when like she's looking over it, because what your ship is, the stuff you're asking for is a little more heavily armed than it would look. It's like she'll be like, okay. Oh, well, I guess. No, unfortunate that you're well prepared, because a lot of these ships certainly weren't, and any ship that can defend themselves are of good use. There are so few of them out here.
I see we're not the only ones that ran into that Bajian thing out
what?
there.
Real quick shout out to Raven with Raiders. Welcome. Hope you
Hi.
enjoy it.
Thanks.
Raven. Oh, Raven. Hi, Raven.
Yeah. The crew just landed on a ship, and hopefully they'll have some time to kind of get things done, because their ships got beat up. So she'll say, yes, these are quite extensive. Times being what they are, we've extended this to every ship that has any ability to defend itself. If we could come to arrangement, she'll look at both, kind of like look at Fahar and then look at Elliot as captain. The captain has given me the permission to see if ships such as yours can help us defend the rest of this group. Provided some waive the docking fees, the code fees, all that sort of stuff. In addition, we'll try and fix up your ship, but that means if things happen, you are obligated to help defend this ship. As we've had a few groups,
Like,
I don't know how much time you were sent out there, but things are a bit chaotic, and we've had a few scrapes from the back systems. Hopefully we won't have any more as we're getting closer to the Coriolis and the core systems.
It's a pretty good deal.
What kind of stuff you been running into?
We've mostly had some opportunists and pirates want to take a big score off some of these ships. Some of the ships that have gone a little bit amiss, they see a big target like ours, and they'll pick off some of the smaller ones they can get to.
Sorry, what was that you said, Far?
That's a pretty good deal, Cap.
That's what I was thinking as well. I think we can come to a mutual agreement on that.
Excellent. We'll have the
Hey, Hawk, out
yes.
of game, can we bribe her to get a better deal? Because we have that everything is for
Oh,
sale
yes.
feature we haven't used yet.
Forgot about that.
We haven't used it yet. We've had no reason to, but
you can really use it now. She is.
we can always find the most corrupt public servants, toll officers, and guards. We get a +2 to manipulation if we're bribing. That's your bailiwick, not mine. I'm not good at manipulation, but you'd be better at it. Just saying.
Pass on that for now. I think we got a pretty good arrangement right here with this, but I'll keep that in mind for other stuff.
All right.
Now, do you want us to send our worm workers work on it, or would you prefer to have? Few of the ships have been a little cagey as far as like having our own mechanics on there. I feel like asking.
I mean, I can. I mean, normally we would ask Zoe to keep an eye out, but I mean, I can keep an eye on things.
Fahar, we're getting a drink, my man.
I
It's in good hands.
Fahar, you and Marco have got some arrangements. If one of us needs to stay back, I can. Frank has its responsibility as well as its privileges.
And I've sent you all the information on the ship, the bazaar is at the center. If you have any people with injuries, the medical center is just off of the docking bay. If anybody suffered any injuries from God knows what happened out there. Sounds like by the
No, I
condition of
think we're
ship.
all right.
And if you need, yes.
I was going to tell you what, Captain. Fahar and I will go ahead, see what's going on. Let the repairman come and take a look at it, and if all looks good, how about you come join us?
Sounds like a good plan. I'll do that.
All right, we'll keep in touch.
Yeah. Anybody in your crew needs to access a little bit of if you have a chapel on board your ship, you might have to use that one. We've had a little difficulties in that area for a little bit. So the chapel on board is off limits at the moment. There's been issues with a few of the groups.
Interesting.
We've had a procession of pilgrims. I mean, Captain let them on board, but the rest of us, some of us are unhappy about having the faithful of the faceless here. Sorry. It's just everyone's on edge, and having them on board is considered bad luck. Certain groups here.
Let's see.
Fahar looks up and it's like, okay, we're good.
Was that who I think it was, Fahar?
Well, all but Zoe.
Yeah. Right. Well, let's talk about anything else.
Suffered a loss.
Yes,
Indirect.
when the cargo hold was blown off, we lost one of our crew members in space. Unfortunately.
I am sorry, but glad that you all made it at least. If you need any more services, last rites, anything like that, we do have facilities that need to be taken care of. It's a little busy, but we'll do what we can.
No thanks. I mean, they weren't much of a believer.
But thank you.
Wow. she'll kind of she makes that like after hearing that Marco, she's gonna make like a little nervous. So it's like, oh, okay, well,
Awkward.
if we need anything from you, we'll send you more information about the repairs. We're just notify us on the comms. We'll try and get to you as soon as we can, but we'll considering what the ship capabilities are, we will try our best to fast track it. Because the way things are,
Understood. You look like you're all a bit overworked and overstressed, so we understand.
it's been a few days.
Yeah. So just relax, do your job, and may the blessings of the Faceless One be on you.
Yes. And at that point, she'll get a little notification on her pad, and then just kind of like turn back and just walk off, just run off to another, just kind of meld into this just the chaos of the deck.
Oof. Well played.
Gotta be careful with who you're talking to sometimes.
Yeah, especially since they're already on edge about having those who worship the Faceless on board. Let's
Yeah.
put them a little more on edge towards us. It's always a good idea, Captain. Come on, Niles. And she just kind of shoulder checks him to get him to start walking a little bit ahead of her.
Okay.
And she's like, Fahar, the ship has been secured, so we should be good.
And I'll try on my data pad to check in once in a while. I mean, I'm not as good a sensor operator as I'd like to be.
Or
But
I'll be sticking around here a little while. You just go relax and enjoy yourself for once. You need
all
it.
right.
Dahlia does to communicate her if anyone needs to reach her. She's pretty much reachable anywhere on the station.
Yeah, I have the giant communicator that's like the stage level 4 communicator. So it's like a backpack. So I'm like carrying a camping bag as we go through here.
It's set up so there's a satellite dish to it. And
It is. It's like the Vietnam radio man.
Yes.
Type setup.
The big old antenna coming up out of the
With a
back.
big antenna and actually has a handset phone in my mind.
Does it have the hand crank to charge it up?
Hell yeah, it does. Of course it does.
Before you guys, Dahlia and Niles takes off, Fahar will come up to Niles and then kind of wait till the captain takes the first step away, and then he jovially slaps him on the back, right where he flagellated himself, and he says, The Lady of Tears tells me you don't have to live like this. I don't know what that means, but that's what she says. and then he smiles and just kind of bobs off with Marco towards the cantina.
There's a very
It has a
audible,
look of just-
gasp of pain. Just. Let's go shopping.
There was no malice in it. He actually was dispensing
Oh.
wisdom.
Fahar, you accidental bastard.
Let's go shopping because I'm about to hurt him.
Oh no, you're fucking not.
Dahlia just gives you this. She was starting to ask if you were okay and needed to go to medbay until you said that, and then she just kind of that look just kind of goes over her face. She goes, "I don't think you should be joking about things like that." And then she will shoulder check him again, making sure that she hits the area.
Oh.
Man, Niles is like being hazed right now.
Yeah, it's just
Why you're hurting? First, you were wounded. Or the medical. And let's go before. Come on. No.
Oh, I'm sure that was all really good, but you broke up really bad, Kat.
yeah, a little bit.
Robotic.
Broke up a little bit in the last bit.
Oh, sorry. She has no sympathy.
Give me the
anymore.
Reader's Digest version. And you hear that audible gasp of pain again. Just like, ow. Okay.
hazing.
As poor Niles just like limps off after everyone just apparently just hazed the heck out of him. You all proceed out of the docking bay and kind of the what was a pretty modern looking docking bay. The feeling of the ship changes. It's older, has construction of like the more ancient buildings in the first come, like temples and all those things. It's different than other being a modern ship where the lighting is warmer. It gives a more comforting feeling. Like everything around it is made to keep your mind away from the fact that you are basically out in deep space. Corridors are much wider than you're used to. Anybody that is super that is bothered by open space, you would kind of be bothered here because it's like people and there are enough spaces. The height of the ceilings can be maybe 3 or 4 meters tall. There's enough room for like maybe 8 or 9 people shoulder to shoulder to like walk, and there's just like open space. It's beautiful glowing like yellow lighting. This is very, very comforting in the way that like people are excited to come here rather than you're forced to. It's a place of you start hearing the talk of commerce. There's the smell of like there are exterior areas where people are preparing food that you can just smell kind of like that fragrant greasy smell coming through here. And there have been several as you make your way through, over the loudspeakers and on the monitors in the ship, and possibly from some chatter of the other occupants of this ship, that certain things come to light. Apparently, the Talon system is no longer available. It's off limits. There's a blockade. Several of the stations have had a few conspiracy theories about what's happening down there, but you get the feeling that and the date is of significance because it's the same 2 days that has come up several times. And accompanying that little bit of chaos, several of the more hardlined first come factions have pulled out of the council and have set up their own spaces, apparently agitated by the arrival of the emissaries and their apparently sacrilege of being the judge. And this upheaval is maybe like and this chaos, this upheaval that's been happening is possibly gives you a little bit of a wind of like, this is maybe why what happened on Mankar happened. Being opportunist, taking space where others are occupied. As you head off to whatever, so will anybody have a pressing business, shall we say?
I want to do a small RP thing with Dahlia here real quick.
Of course.
As they're sort of shone for fruits and such, he'll kind of pick up an apple, pay for it. And even though he's been a little bit on edge since he's been on the ship, he kind of sombers up a bit and it's just like, so how'd you get the same 1,000-yard stare that I have now? And he sort of takes a very small bite out of the apple.
She gives him a look for a moment. Studies him. I don't know you well enough to tell you that story, and you don't know me well enough to ask that question. Fair?
Fair. But I think... I'm just saying, nobody has it look like that unless they've seen some things. So let's just say I might empathize a bit with you. And he sort of tucks the apple into his jacket pocket. And he's sort of just, as they're walking through this market, he's sort of just looking around to see if there's, for lack of a better way of putting it, if there's any like suspicious characters, anybody that looks like they might be like a pickpocket or something of the sort.
Why don't you make a roll then?
Yeah.
If you can see anything.
See, because this would be probably observation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's... this technically isn't a sneak attack or ambush, so third eye won't apply. But that's 7d6 for me. I apparently don't see shit. That's no sixes.
No. If anything's happening, if there's maybe too much activity, otherwise distracted, but nothing obvious. No one like you don't see like the usual telltales of someone kind of rifling through pockets, kind of getting in that personal space.
He's just like, good. Ooh. He's just going to sort of, continue to walk around with Dahlia. Oh no. According to the Discord, her internet just dropped. Oh no.
Oh no. Alright. Alright, well, why don't we use that thing to blue wall. While
Did we lose Marco too?
No, I think he just said he had to take a bio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Alright, anyone else? Bahar, what are you you're with Marco?
Yeah, but I got a couple details that I can, and I guess it involves him, so I guess we can wait. But I will buy some spare parts just as we're walking along, with the money. So I'll just add like D6 parts that I find just kind of haphazard, like, ooh, we need one of these, and oh, if only we had one of those, kind of thing. Yeah, so I'll just pick up some bits and bobs off of street vendors that I think would be useful. Marco, you would notice that until he sees like the parts and stuff, Fahar is like walking kind of close to you, and he like keeps looking up and around. He probably is a little agoraphobic because he's lived on ships since he was a child. But he'll come.
I'll say, you okay, man?
Yeah, I used to love these places when I was a kid, and you could tell he did love these places because it was like a time to run around and be a kid, but at the same time, the open space is kind of freaking him out.
Well, hey, man, I said I thought this place looked familiar, and I think I know why now. I grew up on one of these. Not this exact model. This is a Mark III. Ours was older. We had a Mark II, but yeah, this looks just like the one back in the flotilla. Big colony ship. Not a bad place to grow up, really.
It's really weird
Not
to
a bad
be in a
one.
big. It's really weird to be in a big place like this and have gravity. And he kind of like does a little jump kind of deal, because usually when he's in a big open space, it's space and there's no gravity. So yeah, it's we just kind of.
Yeah, it is a little weird, but I don't know. You get used to it, and it kind of feels like home. It's
Few of the
it's
onlookers
not quite
as the
being on
hard
tier.
jumps look at you, like, kind of give you like an eye. Like,
Okay.
Oh yeah, don't do that, man. People are gonna look at you. Don't do that.
Oh, okay. And then he kind of, comes back into making himself smaller again and kind of closer to you.
Are you okay? Is there anything you needed to get before we go grab a drink?
Oh yeah, we could use one of these. And he picks up some random pieces, parts. He's like, yeah, main core
What the fuck is that?
It's a main core fuse. It sticks. And anyway, how much?
Oh.
And he pays the vendor for it. And
Fahar, that's a main core fuse, but not for the ship that we have. What are you
we
going
don't-
to do with that?
we can convert it. It'll be fine. It's always useful.
How many of those do you have in your room right now?
This one? None.
And how many other models do you have in your room?
Probably 4 or 7.
Fine, get it. I'm not your mom.
And he pays for it.
all right, thank you. And the vendor is just like, wow.
Hey, I'm going to speak to the vendor. Can you recommend a place for a couple of guys that have been out in space for too long to get a drink?
Oh yes, there's let's just keep going down on this side. Should be the Quiet Oasis over here. It's very good. They have very good drinks.
Oh,
Yeah,
Quiet
but
Oasis sounds
they have a
great.
good variety of liquor, stuff that you can't find, stuff you can usually find on Coriolis or Kua, that sort of thing. It's very good.
They
It
happen
might be
to
a little
serve
busy
any,
though.
like,
It's
might be busy. Oh, well, there's
Yes.
a lot of traffic there.
no, yes.
Hey,
it's
what's
so
the
much.
deal with all that? Is that just what's going down the system right now?
Well, I mean, other than the usual traffic of travelers, we've been picking up people. Judging by what's been going on, there's been weird things happening. People saying that they get attacked by darkness.
In space?
It's a lot of tall tales. You know how people are sometimes.
Yeah, sounds crazy. Doesn't.
But I mean,
Crazy.
it's stuff like it's. Other than that, it's been a lot of pirates. The outer lanes have been unstable, so that's why. I think that's why there's so many ships here. Nothing has attacked anything as big as us. Usually, even the bigger pirates stay clear of these ships. I imagine most of them just want to get back to the inner systems safely. As anyone does.
But hey, it's good for your business, right? All these new customers.
It's been yeah, of course. Thank you very much.
Sure. And that is every conversation I've ever had with every Uber driver ever. Quiet Oasis? What do you say?
Yeah, that sounds great. Let's do it.
All right, brother. And I'm gonna kind of put an arm around him. I know he's having a rough time, so I'll put an arm around him and kind of walk him to the bar.
And
Come on,
he's obviously a little more stable and okay with that. Doesn't feel like he's gonna float off.
All right, we go to the Quiet Oasis.
All right. Before we pan out on that and then head to the lib, Dolly, did you have anything else with that we seen before you dropped out?
Sorry about that.
Oh no. Just want to make sure we. Oh no.
She's gonna sell she's keeping an eye on Niles. She kind of gets where he's coming from, what he's trying to do. so she's to you know, she's still wary, but she understands a little bit better. But she's gonna go ahead and sell the weapons. Gonna find offload those weapons, and I think you said they were worth a couple of $100 a year
Yes.
apiece. And she's got 4 of them.
There is a section of the bazaar that does deal with self-defense items, stuff like that. Most of it is there's some less than legal ones, but most of that is tolerated here. This is mostly like a free port than anything that is super regulated. So you can probably make your way there, and maybe thanks.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, Shauna, there's a message for you in the green room chat, by the way. But so yeah, Dahlia will head over there. She's gonna sell the weapons, and then she's gonna start looking around for a flashbang from Marco.
Bless you.
And then she'll find a piece, and then she'll go back to the market to do the rest of the shopping, and pick up the advanced parts for Fahar. And she's got 500 beer on her already. Don't know how much all of this is going to cost, but she's just going to replace the food supplies, staples for the ship. You know, the little shopping that needs to get done.
Okay, Fahar handed you a large
list.
sum of what he had been paid for
Okay.
advanced parts. So
Okay, yeah. So
you're covered.
okay. So yeah, she'll pick all that up, and then she'll pick up some fresh fruit. And I think she's actually going to pick up a thing of if she can find a catnip plant or similar in a little pot, she's going to pick up one of those.
it's going to be quite
Bring it back with
expensive.
her?
Those are.
Yeah,
Catnip is very expensive.
It's plants.
I know
here
it's
are
a
very
plant in
expensive.
space, so
We have an arboretum. Get at me.
And the people here probably know, being traders, they know people will spend a lot of money for their pets, so it's at a high markup here, unfortunately. It
it's okay.
is a great deal more expensive than you thought.
How expensive is she going to have the money for it?
You'll have the money, it's just like you might be like
Okay.
grumbly about it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. She'll grumble about it, but she'll pay it.
Yeah, and
And she'll look at no. Go ahead.
The place that you bought it from it's like your arboretum, but just several rooms. Like, being on a ship, it's actually one of the few places that has so much green. Like, other than like a few of the onboard like open spaces, the green spaces, but those are usually super crowded with people being just starved for kind of like that outdoor feeling. So it's nice being able to kind of like have your oxygen kind of provided by something that isn't a recycler at this moment.
Yeah. And if Niles is still with her at this point, which I imagine he is, he will actually see her visibly relax once they enter this green space. A lot of the wariness is gone. She looks more comfortable here than she has anywhere else. It's close to being casual as she gets in this green space. As she's going through the plants, and she's touching leaves and putting hands on bark and that kind of thing, and picking up little pots, and we'll kind of inhale the fragrance or the scent of them and put them down as she's looking for something, some catnip or something or similar.
And seeing her relax and sort of just observe all the different plants and being as up close and personal as she is with them, you just see Niles have like not a big smile, but there's like you can tell as he's just sort of watching her.
She'll look over at him, catch him looking at her. I
As you
grew
buy
up on
this-
a desert planet. I never had seen green until I came to the possibility.
Zalos wasn't really the best place for things like this either, so it's nice.
It is. There's an arboretum on the ship. It's top level. If you ever feel like you need to spend some time in someplace green.
Considering the past few days I've had, that might be something I have to take up.
As you complete the transaction for all the plants and for the cabinet, you just feel a brushing out your bottom of your leg, and it's just like it's one of the cats. Must have followed you out and knew where the good stuff was. Oh, you did.
She'll give a quick glance down at the cat and just kind of, yeah. I suppose you guys do keep the mice off the ship. And then if there's nothing else to purchase after she's, if Niles has nothing else to do, then she'll head back to the ship with all the purchases.
Niles. The
Oh,
cat
no.
just gives the dirtiest look at you.
He'll, regardless anyway, he'll kind of, kneel down and sort of hold his hand out with like that to see if the cat will even come over and like sniff his hand.
You will. The cat just looks quizzically at you. And then it kind of inches closer. Closer. And just gives you a big chomp on the hand, on the finger.
Ow!
And you
Take that, Miles.
it hurts. It's not like deep,
Yeah.
but you have a feeling of intense hostility that you're pretty sure that you wouldn't have on your own from this cat.
Hmm.
Not a cat.
And the
person,
cat
are you?
just like kind of like actually it doubles around and goes behind Dahlia.
I'm a cat person, just I guess these cats don't like me.
Apparently. Should go get that cleaned up. We'll go back to the ship.
Yeah. Yeah.
As all this is happening, what is our preacher doing?
Well, the first thing he does is he keeps an eye out waiting for these repair people to come out and make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. And then once he's got a good idea of what's going on, he's going to go into the chapel and start making a talisman.
And what does this look like exactly?
He hasn't done this for a while, but I guess kind of as a welcome to the crew thing, he's going to make one that kind of resembles what he was shown to make for the judge. I'm going to make it as a welcome to the ship gift for Niles. It says I got to roll a 1d6 to see how long it takes. So this is going to be a 3-hour project.
Ah,
So he's going to work on that for a while, and then once he gets that done and properly blesses it, he's going to put it in Niles' quarters, and then he'll go back outside, see how things are progressing. And then since he's not sure how well the comms are going to work in a place as big as this, he's going to use Mindwalker to try, which means if I focus my thoughts, a person I previously met, I can tap into their sensory input. I can see what they see, hear, and feel what's going on at that moment, just to see through his eyes where Marco is at, so I know where to go for the drink. Meet him for the drink.
All right.
You see through Marco's eyes, and you see a glass rising to his lips.
Do I see any of the surroundings?
Oh, I don't know what the bar looks like. That's for the GM.
Oh, yeah, you can kind of get that feeling of just. It's a lot more. It's more. You feel like it's a busy bar. It's a fairly well kept bar, but it's that acceptable dinginess. Just like it's hard to hear over people. Okay, they've gotten the nice.
It's one of those good dive bars.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
And,
he's gonna look. He'll
Okay.
look over the map to see. I'm assuming it'll have marked out where all the different drinking and eating establishments are, and he'll try to see if he can figure out which one it is based on what he's seen there.
All right. And you get that, and there are multiple places. This is a place where you can kind of get whatever food you want here. It's one of those places.
Yeah.
Actually, from the map that you're getting, most of the ship, this gargantuan ship, is dedicated to either rest, food, or a relaxation. From the map, you also see that this is also meant to be a place where either the other places that aren't taken up by mechanics or commerce are taken up by stasis pods, just in prep for ships that either can't or passengers that are coming through in and out to make up for kind of like the influx of a population for their certain things.
All right. Once he's in there wandering around for a little bit, when he feels like he may be closer, he hit the comm real quick and ask Marco and say, "This is Eliab. Where are you guys hiding out at?"
Copy, Captain. We're gonna be with you in just a moment. We're a little bit halfway through.
And I'm gonna turn to Fahar and say, "Captain's coming. Finish your drinks."
These crunchy things are good, but they make me really thirsty. He's like grabbing handfuls of peanuts.
That's what they're trying to. Fahar, we've talked about this. Hey, before the captain gets here, I'm gonna say that me and Fahar, if you're cool with this, Greybeard, that we're like at least 2 drinks deep already. By the time Liam gets okay. Hey, I wanted to show you something I made. I thought you'd think it was pretty cool.
Okay.
Check it out. And he reaches into his flight suit pocket and pulls out a wax figurine. It looks like he melted a candle and made a little figurine out of it. And he slams it down on the table and says, "Look at that."
Okay.
Come on, man. It's the dancer. You love the dancer.
Oh, yeah. Hey, what do you think?
Can I get approval?
Yeah, she thinks it's cute. It's cute.
I'll take cute.
And-
Cute's good.
And pliable. He's
Okay,
poking
well,
at it.
I didn't have that much to work with, but just thought I'd make a little something.
You can put it on the dash, by the controls, so the ship will dance.
No.
He does
No,
the
I got other.
He does the
I got
hula
other
girl
plans
thing with it.
The hula skirt.
Uh-huh.
No, I got other plans for it.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, brother, you know I'm a zinger. You know I guess I shouldn't say that though. People are weird about this, but you know I'm humanite. Like, you've always been cool about that, right? And like, the captain's always been cool about it, and Dahlia's always been cool about it, and you know, Zoe, Icon's rest her processing, was always good about it. Why would someone want to hide that they were humanite on our ship?
On our ship?
Marco, realizing what he just said, is like, yeah, I think Niles is a humanite. Pretty sure Niles is a humanite. I'm pretty sure Niles is a humanite. Totally.
Doesn't bug me. I mean, we had plenty of humanites back in.
Yeah, I mean, I know you did your scan and all, but I think it was wrong. I'm pretty sure he's humanite.
And you see him, he's like starting to think of how you could beat the scanner. You know what I mean? It's like, I'll have to, maybe I can build something to
Fahar,
detect it. Is it,
buddy?
I mean, it's not okay that he is?
No, it's cool. It's cool. It just, I want to know why why would he want to hide that was true, right? Like, why would he not want that to be known?
Now, most people, and he looks around, and he's like, most people don't like humanites, right? So like, maybe they're just so used to being in hiding.
Marco realizing that this is something he would have thought of if he hadn't had 2 drinks already.
And he says, the Traveler says that's right.
Yeah, that's probably, I guess what I was thinking was that we all just projected such an air that we are like, hey, we're accepting of all, humans and humanites on this ship, that he would just find it comfortable and wouldn't try to hide it from his friends. But, he did, but hey, maybe I just think we're just too nice. I don't know.
We are pretty cool.
Shit. We are pretty cool. Are you doing okay, man?
Yeah, I like it in here. Here's better.
Make an observation roll for me.
Which of us? Both
Marco.
of us?
You.
No, just you.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm bad at these, mind you.
I will say it's a difficulty one. So take a difficulty one, considering how busy it is, and you are drunk, or not drunk.
And I am drunk, so I lose a die.
Yes.
Wow, so that's a whopping 2 die. And I got 2 6s.
Double box cars.
Unbelievable. I'm gonna take a screenshot of that.
All right, so you just in just the loudness, you just hear over the cacophony of people being close to a bunch of drunk people. You just hear motherfucker, and you feel in a split second someone pulling on your collar violently, and I'm gonna need you to make a what's the combat thing is that? Agility roll.
Okay, I'm good at those. I'm agile. Just a raw agility?
Yes.
Okay. All right, that is 1 6.
All right, so you just instinctually, you have very fast reflex, so you just kind of, it was a pull up, but you can kind of feel before it happens, that kind of momentary where it just kind of is just jacked down. You manage to kind of contort your way where you're not just, your face didn't make intimate contact with the floor and whatever garbage is on it. Slippery shithead. And you, Marco,
What the fuck?
know this voice. You heard this voice many, many, many times. And you look up and you see a small Zinger woman, probably a few years older than you, with small burn scar on her upper temple, hair tied back. She just has this wide-eyed look of rage at you. And it is your former wingmate back home. Silva
Marco gets
Royan.
Silva?
Yeah, Silva.
Silva Royan.
Let
Marco
me know when
gets.
Fahar can react.
Well, Marco first just get like. Fahar, you would notice this is weird, because I just got like ripped off of a bar stool. But
Yeah, and
Marco, as soon as he realizes who it is, does not react and goes quiet and casts his eyes down at the floor.
How fucking
'Cause-
dare you wear that jacket? I thought when they kicked you out, they would have taken that from you, and you you walk around with it like you have no dishonor of what you did. Your father would be rolling in his grave if he knew you're still wearing that.
Fahar
Marco
would
makes
have,
like he's gonna speak, but he can't. Go ahead, Fahar.
Fahar would have snapped on his power glove and like grabbed her hand and like just start tightening the glove like what the hell. But she's talking
Fahar,
and
it's okay.
Who the hell are you? Are you one of his friends?
yeah,
It's okay.
Who have you, Marco? Who the hell have you
I'll
tricked
start
into
helping
flying?
Marco.
I'm
What the
not
hell are you
supposed to.
doing here? Get the fuck up.
You know I'm not. He
I'll help
sits
him up.
Oh, thank you, buddy. I'm not supposed to talk to you.
You're not supposed to do a lot of things, including wearing that jumpsuit. We're not in the flotilla anymore.
It's all I had left. You're right. And Marco starts to take off the flight suit.
And Fahar's just looking at her and looking at you and looking at her and looking at you.
What? He hasn't told you. You fly with this coward.
I fly with my friend.
Don't, please, Silva, don't do this. Please.
Friends, you are braver than I am. He hasn't told you, has he?
Please don't
He
do
didn't give you
this.
the decency to tell. How good is he at flying?
He's really good.
Really good?
And I don't care what he's done or whatever. Why don't you let us have our drink? And he, flexes the power glove a little.
Can we get Eliab in?
Yeah, you can.
He was on his way. So
Yeah.
yeah, Eliab would see this scene of me
Find
having
my
someone step
way
to me.
inside. I look around, and I have a feeling it doesn't take me long to pick these two out from the crowd. Yeah, I see the power flashing off the glove. It's like, oh no, what have these boys gotten themselves into now? And I start walking towards them, and I presume I start seeing this other person as I get
Yes.
closer.
He's
Might
about like
I-
a head shorter than Marco is.
okay.
Also.
But Marco looks very small next to
uh,
this person.
Might I advise you to take your hands off of my pilot?
You're a pilot. Oh. These are the people you suckered into flying for, huh? Marco?
I didn't do.
He didn't sucker us into anything. He's proved himself time and time again out there. I don't know what your issue is, but I would appreciate it if you wrap it up quite pronto.
No, don't worry. I'm not going to do him any harm. I'm trying to actually save you from some things that happened. See, came across my update. I'm in charge of the defense of this place. And I saw that your ship and your pilot was on the list. And I'm here. Tell him if he flies, he can't. Here.
Well,
I am
then
not
how do
going
you
to put the defense of all these ships in the hand of this coward.
You guys see that look that Fahar had just before he punched the guard?
Well, for a coward, he's fought more than once in the defense of us and of that ship, and he's done some pretty amazing things to get us this point right now. So I take it you're telling us that when it's time for to leave, you're not going. You aren't going to allow my pilot to fly all ship out of this place. Is that what you're telling me?
No, he can leave whenever he wants to. I'm just saying that he cannot fly in defense of this ship. I will not have this happen again.
Well,
Not
I
for the
suppose you
fourth
better
time.
take that up with the person who's second in command here of this floating facility, because we have an agreement that we will serve as part of that. And then, unless you intend to negotiate with them otherwise, one, I would take it up with her, and two, if you do decide to change things, then I need to be there for those negotiations, since it directly affects my ship and my crew.
I've taken
Care
of that.
myself clear?
I've taken care of that. I will not have him responsible for several 100,000 more. That's final.
I left you
Take this trash
alone.
and leave.
I left you alone. I left the flotilla. I resigned. Can you leave me alone in return, please?
And now you're my problem. And I'm saying right now, you are not welcome to fly in defense of this ship. And
Yeah, unless one of you guys stops it, Fahar's going to take a swing. When they say Marco
You have a
trash,
chance to do that. I go ahead and put my hand out and stop your fist. Not the time or the place, Fahar. If it is, I'll let you know.
And for the record,
That's
Marco's
all.
hand hasn't come anywhere near that pistol. That's not even on his mind right now.
she'll look
Man.
up and stare at both of you and just, I've said my piece. I've said what I meant to say. Didn't want to be here any
Man.
longer than I had to. And Marco,
If
these are your friends.
You leave our eyesight so we can enjoy our stay here rather than harassing a member of my crew.
No, I hope it's a short stay. And Marco, if you have any decency left in you at all, you will tell them what happened. Because you owe people whose lives you put in danger. Clear.
Hey, you know what? And he takes the flight suit, what remains of it, in his hand. Take it.
She'll grab it and just tuck it under her. Well, I'll take it to people that care about it more than you do. And she'll just.
Are you satisfied, ma'am?
She as soon as she grabs the jacket, she'll just turn around and walk away.
Yeah, nice seeing you too, asshole.
Will Dahlia see this woman carrying Marco's jacket?
You know what? Yeah, so we'll just.
I'm gonna look back to Eliab and Fahar and say, Would it surprise you if I told both of you that I don't want to talk about it?
That would not surprise me at all, and I would not make any prying moves otherwise unless you wanted to.
Fahar puts his
Past, I'm not dealing with any Marco of the past. Right now, the only one I'm concerned of is the one of the present.
Fahar quick clips the power glove and like puts an arm around you, and I'm like, yeah, fuck her,
Yeah.
him, them. Was it a man or a woman?
I actually don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
With
It was,
one
yeah,
does
she,
with
she,
man.
her. You know, she, her.
She, her.
She, her. Okay.
So Marco's like, yeah, fuck her. Fine.
You know what? The one who carries the grudge is the one who's got the burden on, has the burden in their life, not the one who's trying to inflict it on the others.
As you're trying to give that piece of sage wisdom, Marco grabs you and Fahar in a big hug and is weeping uncontrollably.
Put
But that Eliab just
Fahar.
shuts up and just holds him as long as he needs it.
Fahar puts his head in on yours. It's like,
All right, so I guess in that embrace, I guess Dolly, you and Niles can enter that. I guess at that moment that you wanted to. You
Yes,
see this angry woman carrying what you think is Marco's. You've seen a few of those patches before.
Now Dahlia will, and she will literally step in front of the woman blocking her path. Excuse me, miss. Where did you get the
What is it?
jacket? Where did you get that jacket? Or I should say, how did you get that jacket?
Just saying that someone up to snuff gave it to me. Didn't want to wear its burden anymore. No, don't worry.
Checker?
It was. Yes, you can insight checker.
Okay.
Whatever that is. And
yeah, I have no idea.
And
what
empathy.
That is.
Empathy.
It's empathy.
Empathy? Oh, I'm not good at that. All right.
I think I said this last time, but shocking.
Straight up empathy, or can I use observation with it?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's have.
Okay. All right. At least gives me one more dice to add to.
Das is das.
2 6s.
Ooh.
And exactly what did you want to glean from this, if anything?
I want to know if what she's saying about the person giving it up willingly, not wanting to carry its burden anymore, if that's how true that is, or if that is her interpretation of how she saw it.
It's true, but it's her interpretation on top of it. Also, with that success, there is quite a bit of venom in the tone that she's using when she describes the person.
You know, I don't know you. I don't know who you are, but I do know that jacket, and I don't think that's yours. Please hand it over. I'll make sure it gets back to its owner.
I don't know you, do I?
No, you don't. And you really, really don't want to get to know me any better.
Another friend of Marco's.
Yeah.
Niles
you
has
can
like the
say
same
that.
kind of look. He's not being vocal, but he has that same look on his face.
And Dahlia is reaching for the jacket.
She gives you like this, like kind of like the tight lip smile, and just kind of just presses it in your chest. And it's like, do whatever you want.
Thank you. And Dahlia will just literally spit on her heel and walk away. And if when she sees the others, she'll walk over. And are they still in the group hug? Oh, sorry, no.
Niles will kind of like look to this woman he's never seen before. It's just like, that man helped kill a Bajin, and in addition, saved my life. If I were you, I'd put a little more respect on his name, and I'd go and join Dahlia.
Coming up to bat for Marco. Thanks, guys.
We're a crew. We're a team.
But yeah, the group hug is still happening. Marco's inconsolable at the moment.
Scrape the jacket back around his shoulder.
That's a bad time for your internet to be crappy, Cat.
Oh no.
Oh, I'm frozen. Frozen.
Not
You're-
yeah,
well,
it's
yeah, a
angry.
little frozen. Yeah, you got
Yeah.
robot.
And
voice.
you're roboting. a bit.
Robot voice.
Yeah.
I assumed it was
Alright,
very
how about-
touching. About...
Yeah. How about now?
I can hear
Okay.
you.
Okay. Yeah.
A little better,
Dahlia will just, Dahlia will walk up and just drape the jacket around her shoulder, and then take it back.
Niles is just going to sort of place an awkward but like understanding of this weird situation, just like pat on Marco's shoulder and just he's gonna order whatever the shittiest, just tastes like nail polish remover vodka that's on this station.
Oh, you have your choice. It's varying levels
Oh,
of paint thinner.
beautiful.
Of paint thinner.
Like-
It's like
Whatever
it's
whatever
That's
this
the best nail polish remover money can buy.
yeah.
Here.
It's in the bottle where it's like it's starting to like it's got like that slightly corroded aspect. Like,
Oh,
adds
yeah.
a little bit of flavor to it.
I want to find this station's version of like Kamchatka and just
Oh,
get like a couple shot glasses for myself and walk over and join them at the table.
mhm.
Marco kind of wipes a tear and is like, "Oh, a man after my own heart." Cheers.
And
Cheers.
once Dahlia had put the jacket on Marco's shoulders, he would have reached out with his wiry arms and pulled Dahlia in, or tried to. I know,
She did-
I know.
Yeah,
But he
no.
didn't do it.
She very just kind of smoothly just kind of ducks out of it and sits down at the table.
Probably accidentally slapped Niles back in the process, and
With the power glove.
Yeah.
oh,
I had restrung it, so quick clip.
Oh God.
just
So who's
be a
drinking
little more-
who's drinking this wonderful delicacy? You'll make it well in certain other games. It's a poison, and this is certainly a poison. So I'm gonna need you to make a strength roll.
Oh,
Not my specialty.
How well can you take
Let's
this?
see.
This.
what's
I'm already a couple drinks deep too, so.
Oh boy,
Yeah,
yeah. You know what?
failure.
You're a couple drinks deep. That's you're getting a negative on that.
Okay, so that's one die.
You're-
Let's see if I get a 6.
You're mixing alcohol with super alcohol at this point.
Nope. Failure.
I'm
Marco's
good.
gonna hurl.
Yeah.
got
Oh yeah. This is
1-6.
so. I imagine Niles, you're familiar with this. You can probably take it pretty well. You know, handle. Your guts are made out of steel or like whatever they plate the outside of the hull of ships because that's the only thing that can really like withstand this. But Marco, you.
I was chastised for pretending to puke on Twitch one time, so I'm not going to do that. But
No,
that's kind of where.
Appreciated.
It might be. It might not be. It might be that type of sick where it's like you feel it in the pit of your stomach, and it hits you
I've
real
got the
hard.
spins. Got the
Yeah.
spins, as the kids say. Yeah.
And you may not have made that first. You may have been agile enough to avoid that first trip to the kiss with the floor, but not this second one.
Oh no. Oh, Marco passes out.
You get dizzy from it. Like you lose your.
Iliab reaches out to try to help brace him back up.
Yeah. Okay,
Oh,
you
buddy.
can catch.
Yep. I was gonna say Dahlia's gonna hand over the she's got like this big canvas sack of all the stuff that she bought. She's just gonna
Yeah.
hand that over to Niles and then just scoop her shoulder into knowing that he's a lot taller than this, but she's gonna scoop their shoulder into his chest, kind of right up under the breastbone, and then just sling him over his shoulder and go, I think it's time to go back to the ship.
Did you get my grenade?
God,
You can have it when you wake up.
you're lucky I don't have
Okay.
any dark points.
And assume since Niles has the groceries, he will follow Dahlia and Marco back to the ship.
And as we're walking along, you notice Fahar is like keeps looking at you carrying the groceries, and then quick clicks the power glove on, and it's like, I think that's part of my job. And he'll just
No,
try to grab the bag of groceries.
I got it. It's okay. I got it. I'm the new
Okay.
guy. I should carry them.
Yeah, but you're the sensors. Okay. And he gives you a little
Fahar.
sock.
Fahar,
Yeah, buddy. What's up?
I fucking love you, man. I love you
too,
so
bud.
much.
He bumps his head into your head. Love you too, man.
Thanks, buddy.
Oh no, you're both.
Hell
No,
yeah.
actually,
Find
Fahar
the
even with
share.
the minus made it, but he's kind of a huggy guy.
Fahar, like Fahar lived with pirates. Fahar can probably handle it.
I also
Okay,
have
fine.
the tough trait.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Walk behind everyone just to make sure that we all get to where we're supposed to go and nobody wanders off.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, I have a question for you. Do you walk
Mhm.
around in your vestments, or do you usually walk around in casual garb?
When I'm off the ship, I'll have the hood off and everything, and I'll have my regular vestments on.
Oh, then, as y'all are escorting a wickedly drunk Marco back, you see an older man wearing similar vestments as you come up to you.
Ooh.
Is
Ah,
this a
dear
face
mother.
I recognize?
It is. They're not as subtle with their worship. They have a full talisman, similar to yours, but obviously the faceless.
Mhm.
And
Probably much bigger and ornate than mine.
and there are certain colors, like dark colors, are associated with star, kind of like a starry pattern to their vestment, like a star shield almost.
Mm-hmm.
They said I'd find you here.
Amazing who you meet sometimes. This is two ball, I presume. Is this two ball?
Two-ball who?
Never mind.
Ah.
Someone on my character sheet. I thought you were referring to them.
No. Who? No. But I know your faith. They know your faith. And I think there's something you need to see.
Oh, really? What would that be?
I think you know, being what you are.
I call out to Dahlia. I'll catch up with you. I'll be a little bit.
You
She's
just
been
gotta,
kind of
like,
watching this back and forth like a tennis match. All right, Captain. Call if you need anything.
Will do.
You feel, Ellie, when you talk to this person, you feel it's a similar sensation as when you commune in your quarters
Mm-hmm.
with that talisman.
Okay.
Dahlia, Fahar leans into you and says, "The gambler says that's not random chance."
I don't think a lot of things are random chance anymore.
All right, and no, it'll only be a little while. Can we borrow your friend?
Of course.
Oh, may the faceless breath bless you. And he'll put an arm on, like a friendly, like yes. And then I'm glad you came here, and he'll trail off with Ilium as you kind of lose him in the bustling crowd. And where are you all headed?
Back to the ship.
Oh,
Because I don't think I have a choice in the matter. So I think that.
Yeah,
you
Dahlia's carrying.
carried.
Yeah, Dahlia's carrying Marco back to the ship.
You get to the...
Niles. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Niles will drop off the groceries wherever they're needed on the ship, and
Oh, we're not quite to the ship yet.
Okay. Well, once we get there, I'm going to talk to
Oh.
Marco at some point. A very drunk Marco, but it's fine.
Okay. Well, you get to the ship. Oh.
Hello, kitty.
And there's cats.
There's no cats. You still have that black cat that's been following Dahlia more adamantly than before. Now that like the catnip has been purchased.
Of course.
So when that short trip halfway across that trip past the bazaar and heading back to the docking bay as the airlock opens up, you see a crowd of security personnel around the ship.
Fuck.
— Just when a captain would come in most useful.
And you see that the ship is open.
Niles is wishing he had ammo right now.
The ramp to the ship is open, and you just see a few of the security personnel kind of put their arm on the bulkhead and just kind of like they're talking to someone inside the ship. And the manner in which they're doing it, their body language, like, suggests agitation, concern, worry.
I'm going to ask a weird.
Go ahead.
I'm going to ask a weird question. Any of the security personnel, and specifically the man inside the ship, do I recognize any of them?
No, you don't. You've seen these people all around the bazaar. They are security personnel. They have the same jumps. There's whatever's here. It's brought a lot of shipboard security around it.
Hey, Dahlia. Why don't you let me take him? That way you can fight if we need to fight.
Yeah. And she will carefully pass Marco over to Fahar.
I can walk. I can walk.
Just take a
Yes.
break, buddy.
Can you walk?
No.
Probably. Maybe. I haven't tried in a while.
You're okay.
Oh no.
Just stay right
Mark-
there, pal.
Yeah, Dahlia was actually going to just prop him up against a wall.
Wait,
But
that's a
I
good
got
idea,
him
too.
because Fahar is like stupid, wiry, strong, and so he's
Yeah.
like gonna run with him if he
Yep.
needs to.
One hand power glove above the
Oh
head.
god.
so
Oh,
can I use my third eye as I'm assessing the situation to see if this is going to be an ambush?
you can do. Yeah, sure. Why not?
I would like
That's
to do
a
the
psychic.
exact same thing if I can.
All right. So I get a +2 to observation for this.
Let's see. So how many dice do I have for that? Oh, that's a lot for me. Okie doke.
Wow.
Oh,
I
that
don't
is
think I'm going to be able to
4
beat
sixes
that
for
one.
me.
4 6s.
2 6s for Dahlia.
All right. Oh, that's a super success. Y'all are very good. And you both use this, right? Third eye.
hmm
All right, cool. Yeah. From what you can, and what's that do exactly? Sorry.
It's essentially it just gives us +2 to observation if we're seeing we're going to be ambushed or sneak attacked, and then I believe the secondary thing is once per session we can avoid being surprised.
There is no surprise here. There is no imminent. Those instincts aren't necessarily kicking off as far as like imminent ambush. You don't feel that sense of hostility that you would right before something were to pop off.
So Dahlia is going to, with Marco in Fahar's care, she's going to look at Niles and say, give Fahar the bag.
And I just slowly
And-
hand it over to him.
Yeah, at this
And then
point
she
he
will-
will. He just clicks his glove to take the bag so he can carry more.
And she'll walk up and she's got her, she's had been wearing kind of the head covering with her face partially covered or at least in shadow. She puts it back. So the merc tattoos on her face are quite visible. And she is obviously moving like somebody who's carrying weapons or at least can handle themselves. And she'll walk up to whoever looks like they're going to be in charge and say, "Excuse me, can I help you, gentlemen? Is there a problem with the security of this ship?"
No, looking at like this is a ship matter, ship security matter, unless
This is my
this is
ship.
off limits.
This is my
Is it?
ship. So I am the responsible for the security of this ship. So if there's a problem, it's my problem.
Are you now? That makes our job easier.
And then she just really quickly and sub-vocalized comms Eliab and says, "You need to return to the ship immediately, or this is emergent." And then continues staring at the other at the security guard.
Okay, 1 second. He stands up, all seriousness in his eyes. And on the holster's like, "You better come with us. My authority on this station, you and that group are under arrest."
For
murder.
what?
And you just see, like,
Did you
as
just
soon
say murder?
as soon as you say that, you see 2 security officials and a grab sled. And what do they have on it? Zoe's body.
Oh, you son of a...
She looks at them and she goes, "Excuse me, but how did you broke into our ship? Did you not?"
There were some the maintenance crew read some worrying emissions coming from the reactor. We had to check it out. And looking through, we found this. Now, if you would kindly play what?
Do you know what that is? I'm sorry. Do you know what that is?
It's a body.
Yes, but it's not a human body, is it? Therefore, it's not a murder victim, is it?
It's not a human either.
Then what is it? It's... Well, we can discuss this
When
you're
our
all
captain gets here. I'm
I
not
presume
going
I
anywhere
got
with
the
you.
comm message.
Hmm?
I presume I got the comm message from Dahlia.
Not as of yet. Well, we're gonna have to take you in anyways, whatever she was. Why?
Sorry, Marco or Fahar starts running towards them, yelling, "You can't have Zoe!" With Marco on his back.
Well, they're trying to take Zoe?
Dahlia just sighs. At this point, she just looks over at Niles and she goes, "Just keep your mouth shut. Don't worry about it. It'll get taken care of." And she looks at the gentleman. "We will go with you peacefully."
Yeah.
Make a roll.
What are we looking at?
Empathy. Wits.
Oh, good. My best. Oh, I can do empathy or wits. Wits isn't bad. I'll do wits. Little fancy grounds. There we go. That's no successes.
You feel a feeling come upon you. That same feeling that's in the escape pod.
Don't like this. Don't like this. Is the voice telling me to? Is the pressure I'm feeling, and I'm assuming the voice in my head I hear, telling me to? Ooh.
You're feeling compelled to. You and the voice are one now.
What's the voice telling me to do?
Get rid of the believer.
Is there a part that has? Is the part that has the card that has the entity that I've now come to know as Zoe? Has there been like a part of her that has fallen off the sled thing that she's on?
I would say the feeling, no.
Okay.
The thing is not in this on that.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is, it's still there.
Yeah, I can. Fahar's running. He's going to try to shoulder check the guy manning the cart, and like he's got the power glove gently around Marco's arms, crossed in front of him to hold Marco on his back, and he's going to try to check the guy and grab a hold of the sled, like he's going to push the sled back in the ship.
Let me down. Let me down.
They stop you, Fahar.
All right, it's Zoe, and he just starts flailing as best he can, trying not to hurt Marco.
You're gonna drop me.
In this chaos, I want to try something. is Zoe's body whole, or is she like taken apart a bit?
She was mostly whole.
Hmm. Is there anything that is remotely loose on her?
Oh. I would say no. It's the body is convincing, but
Does
That's
she
why we're
have
in this
like?
situation.
Yeah,
She does not
I
look
know,
like
but
an
I have to-
android. It looks like a human
doesn't look-
body laying there.
for all intents
it looks like a
and
human
purposes,
body.
Human looking.
Yeah.
Enough to fool
Gotcha.
her three.
That's why
Yeah,
we're
that's
here
why
right
they
now.
thought it was a murder.
Man, I hate this. Could I make an infiltration roll to essentially sleight of hand, like pluck a few hairs off of Zoe, and then sort of like shove them in Fahar's pockets?
Yeah, you can.
Cool.
Literally,
Uh,
Fahar like kicking and saying, "The judge will make you all pay." You know.
You gotta
Marco,
stop, Fahar. I'm gonna puke.
Dahlia's trying to calm Fahar down. She's trying to get to Fahar to help to calm him
It's going
down.
to be hard. So
Yeah. I think that's yeah. Oh, that's one success.
all right, you do it.
And once I've, planted that little bit of what I'm hoping will be evidence, I just sort of go and step away from the chaos towards wherever. I'm not sure if everybody is intermixed in the chaos or just wherever Iliab is. I'm going to stand by him.
He's not here yet.
Oh, he's not
I'm not
here.
there.
That's right.
Here.
I'm just going to sort of step away from the chaos because I don't know these people. So
Yeah, Fahar is just crying, and I mean, if Dahlia gets there, he'll back off, but he'll still like throw a kick at at any guard or whoever gets close.
No, he's just like, stay calm. I've come
It's
for the
okay.
captain.
Well,
But she's looking at these security men like,
I will not
make a
repeat
move
myself.
and I will shoot you.
I will not repeat myself. Stand down, and we will get to the bottom if you are this for some icon reason that you can't. This isn't what it looks like it will be. It will be dealt with. So, if you don't want any bloodshed, you will stand down.
You were holding like Marco's arms around you, Fahar, right?
Yeah, and he basically
Yeah.
took the power glove and like grabbed his wrists like in an X to kind of hold it there, and then
Yeah.
gently closed the glove and locked it. So like you can't. You're basically handcuffed to Fahar at this point.
Right.
You're
So
wearing
he's
a
like, since he can't, I was gonna use my hand, but since I can't use my hand, he's kind of like stroking his shoulder along your head, like on your hair, like. It's
All right.
okay. It's okay.
It's not. It's not. You can tell it's working, but he's being obstinate.
No, the gentleman in charge. She's going to find. She's gonna, look, can we take this off the dock here? Can we go in the ship? Move the glass, because really, we're attracting a lot of attention. That
Oh, I want you to make a Mystic Powers roll.
Ooh.
oh boy,
Ooh, I wish I was there.
And I will give you, considering its proximity, give you a +2 for that.
okay.
The cat blesses you.
That is 2 successes.
Immediately, your mind is kind of like shaken in that space that you were in the trance. You saw her. But instead of her, you feel an overwhelming presence. And you feel it in the direction of Niles. And the way that Niles acted slightly oddly, and you look in that direction, and you see a dark, amorphous shape surrounding him, going through him. And we'll shift to Greybeard and our
Or Eliab.
Eliab, sorry. And our it's like, well, I'm glad we found you. You told me to find you. It's so rarely to find many of our order. We had a hard enough time getting on the ship. There may that would not let us on.
So I've heard.
I assume that you've been blessed with their presence.
Yes, I have.
They're holding the talisman. Well, we all were, and we found her. And you need to come with us. You need to see her. And he's taken you to the crowds have gone smaller and smaller until it's well lit, but it's just you. You
Okay.
pass by the buffer toward the chapel area. And now I think we won't have any people to bother us. And you see more of those figures. And the same figure. It's a friend. It's been blessed.
Mhm.
I'll tell them that he is here. I'll be just a second just to make the arrangements. It's the last one. And you have these two people in robes. They have the same thing, the same talisman, but they have that same look of joy in their eyes as your friend does. You got that message about her, didn't you?
Not sure I know what you're talking about.
We found her in the town system. The scripture about the faceless. The faceless being not one but many. It's faceless because there are so many of them. Well, she's true. There are many of them, and we have been cut off from the light of the icons. And she knows a way how to have us reunited with our kin who have been enjoying splendor that we've been so cut off from.
Let's see. If that is true, that is quite amazing.
And this is of course it may not entirely align with your belief, but it's something maybe that you've heard of, that some groups
Mhm.
have. It's enough of a outside of a rarity to have faith disciples of the faithless, that the method of which they believe is varies widely. Like, it's not as set in stone as the other ones, who have enjoy the benefits of being just widely cherished by the entities of the horizon.
Mhm.
And your friend comes out. It's like, oh, good. They've almost started. You feel free to join. You don't. I mean, you don't have to, but you've gotten. They have talked to you, and you must be here for this. Because in this, we will be
Let us
protected. And they will be protected. As you come into the temple, the chapel. The chapel has been decorated with more icons of more talismans of the faceless than you've seen in one spot. And you see what looks to be like 8 or 9, 10. It's fairly dark in this room, except for in the back. There is a robed figure in the darkest black you've ever seen. Like, it's a Fanta black kind of robe color. Light kind of bounces. And I believe it just whispers like, she's almost ready. We've made the preparations. We will be reunited. Our sins will be absolved. The wickedness that our people inflicted on the other two will be rectified, and our souls will be absolved. And the figure stands, and the eyes are bandaged. There has been damage. This figure has scrapes. It is old. Or she is old. But as the cowl is pulled back from her face, it's a familiar one. It's older, it's damaged, but it is Zoe. And as that clicks into your mind,
Oh my goodness.
next to her is another familiar thing. You've seen Fahar deassemble this, care for this. It looks like that bit on the ship that you never quite know how works. The one that they say is Zoe, or where Zoe resides. It looks like that. There are wires coming out of it, snaking around this room. Possibly why this room is so dim. There's so many machines attached to it. Panels have been torn off, and these wires have been hastily installed. And she stands. You have done the faceless great service. We have been separated for so long. So long. But shall we receive the blessing of coming through this hole, as we have to make the necessary sacrifice to reconnect again. And you get that same feeling that you get every single time that you contact the Faceless, the entity. Except it is strong. It is stronger than anything you've ever felt. You feel it a little bit from everyone here, but it's a blinding light coming from her.
Powers of magnitude stronger than I've ever felt before.
Yes. And she just raises her hands like, it may begin. And the lights come on. Power goes out in this room. In the same, on a different side of the ship as this altercation's happening. Power goes out on the deck. The lights go out. Panic sets in. And we head back to the chapel room. And before that, everyone at that same moment, you feel the ship move. The ship wasn't supposed to move. And you feel that feeling. The ship was resting, waiting to go through a portal, but now it's moving. It's moving. Bahar and Niles and Marco, why don't you make a roll? Make a whatever rolls you would use for mechanics.
I have technology.
Technology. Data. Someone can use data gen if they wanted to.
All right, let's see.
Need data gen for me.
2 6s.
No successes for me.
I'm drunk as hell, but I still get 2 6s.
There's some instincts that can't be worn away with alcohol.
It's innate at this point.
Oh,
It's
Why you're a hell
automatic.
of a pilot.
It's a cantrip.
Oh no!
Oh my god!
there's always the option. There's always the option for praying to the gods.
I don't think Fahar would. He just doesn't. He's too upset, I think, at this point.
Marco,
I love that.
Marco, you know how there's that gravity field that keeps a pilot from becoming just a mass of blood and guts from the inertial. This ship has those. Every ship has those. But your instincts feel like this ship is going fast.
Oh god, this is like a relativity question. The ship by which you mean the scarab that belongs to us, or
No.
the gigantic colony ship?
The Ganj-i-Sawai is going faster than you feel this ship should be going.
Oh.
You feel you can maybe in your state feel vibrations coming off of this floor before
We're moving. We're moving. Why are we moving?
The guards take their attention off you and are just looking around, calling comms, see what's happening.
I pick up the bag of stuff and I move so that I can protect Fahar and Marco. At least, get them into a sheltered corner or something like that if things start to break up or back onto the ship, whatever I have to do. But Dahlia's gone into protective mode.
I would say that
And
no.
if Niles is anywhere close, she will look at him and say, "Back off."
The cat is freaking out. you I think you might be the only condition to hear this. You hear Dahlia might be the only one condition to hear
Dahlia,
because Dahlia was the one that was paying the most attention to these security. It's like over the comms, you hear them yell, "What do you mean we're moving? What? Fuck!" And like their face, like anyone that hears that, just their face goes white. And you just hear him scream, "Everyone to the stasis pods right now. Drop everything and head to the pods. We're heading for it." And we're heading
Get Dahlia.
for the portal. Everyone to the pods. Drop what you're doing right now. Get to the... We will deal with this later.
Dahlia just in that way that, you can by sheer presence, just ushers Fahar into the ship carrying Marco. And as soon as they're on board, she's slamming the door shut, and locking it. And she's calming the captain on her personal comm. Captain, ship secured. Find a stasis pod if you can't get here.
At this point, you get the messages, but we'll just quit back to you in a second. The sensors are going wild on the ship. There are safeties on this vessel that will warnings for portal transport are just going wild. The sensors know that you're not in there, and you have to go. You have to make it. And at that moment, Ilium, you have the you get that message on your... Everything all right?
Somehow, Eliab has the feeling that he needs to stay right where he is.
Don't worry about them. It's necessary, but we will be safe here. Think about the rest of the horizon that will enjoy the reunion.
You said something about a sacrifice being made. What, if I may ask, is that sacrifice?
She foretold that. We found her. To find her the body and the soul, and we did. And she told us what we had to do. And it's happening. We will open the rift in town and reunite this horizon with our brothers and sisters. But we shouldn't be talking about this. We should know. We should enjoy this moment with her.
Yes, let us.
Zoe, like the prophet, the Zoe, like person, her face starts singing. You know this song. You may not have heard it in your life, but you know it. Every time that darkness touches your mind, every time you go through and dream in the stasis pods, you know this song. And you just gaze upon its wonders, its joy, and a little bit, and the terror that comes with it. And the rest of you, you hear screaming, commotion coming from outside the ship. It's happening now. I'm gonna have you make rolls to see if you get to the stasis pods.
Do I roll because Bahar's carrying me?
You feel that sickness in your gut that you know well every time you approach these portals. And it is getting stronger and stronger. This is maybe as close as you've ever gotten to it. It's hard to think straight.
Should I roll? Because I'm being carried.
Yes, you should roll. You have your talisman on you, thankfully.
I do. Well, my talisman is my helmet. I don't know if oh, I do have the talisman. Yeah, that other one. Okay, agility.
Agility. All right, anyone else?
Did they abandon the Zoe quest? Like, could I have showed?
100%.
Okay.
This is not. This is small. Niles, what did you do?
I mean, I would have attempted to.
Yeah, I think you could. I think once the entity got what it wanted, it relinquished control. Once the lights went out, you felt joy in that being.
Okay, nope. Don't like that. Oh, me as a player. Oh man. Whew.
Yeah, and you have an idea what happened, but like, if you want to get back, you know you have to get in stasis pods now. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm gonna attempt to do that. Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to have everybody roll agility dex
Okay.
before everyone rolls. Before everyone rolls, I'll give out bonuses.
Oh, okay.
Marco, you'll get a bonus for.
Oh.
So I'm just saying it evens out your talisman.
Ah, okay.
Fahar, you get +2 your faith. Well,
I did better that time.
Okay.
Niles and Dahlia.
Mhm.
Both. Niles, you get that bonus. It's not from a good place, I'll be awfully honest, but it doesn't want its friend to die. Dahlia, you have a +2
Okay.
because you have the gift and you have entities watching over you.
Does Niles have any bonuses for this?
Niles, no.
Okay. Neat.
I mean, you have the bonuses from the entity.
Mm-hmm. Which is that a +2 or is that just a
+2? It's a +2, yeah.
okay? So that's quite a bit for me. Oh, okay.
Oh no.
Gonna say a prayer to the judge
Ooh.
Okay.
and
Cool.
re-roll that.
I'll remember this.
Let's see, because from how I interpreted this, Dahlia locked me out of the ship, so I'm on the station trying to find a stasis pod. Could I make an? I was gonna try and make an argument for infiltration. But that would be kind of hard. Essentially, like sneak into somebody else's pod.
Oh, you bastard.
Of course.
Beautiful.
We do have a lot of extra stasis pods on our
We
ship.
do, but you're locked out of the ship.
Yeah, but Dahlia locked me
Yeah.
out. So
Okay.
that becomes a lot. Gives me more of a chance. So let's see. That's A6, so I have a success.
Okay.
2 for Dahlia.
Okay.
2 for Marco.
Marco.
2 for me.
You all manage in your own way. Manage to just book it, run. Dahlia, like, you might be helping, a couple of you might be helping Marco make a space, but you all know this ship. And you make it in time. That oppressive feeling you feel that the portals have just becomes unbearable. It's like just a tinnitus, but higher in your, like, it's not your head, it's your soul that you feel that in, like it wants it. But you see that everyone gets in. You lie down. You see the pod snap shut, and you hope there's enough time before it sets in that you won't see the worst of it. And Ilya, as this thing happened, you feel that same soul-wrenching feeling. But you also feel you can see waves going around you. You see a field that is blocking those waves. And in a moment, you are there. You are everywhere. You feel the conscience of millions and millions of screaming voices. You see your eyes, not your sights that exist, colors, shapes, all trying to grasp for you, take pieces from you. But is it your faith? Is it her that is keeping them at bay? And in your mind, you know what happened. You are in the space where no living being should see or remain unscathed. You're in whatever place, hell, heaven, where the portals take you and deposit you back in space. And that's where we'll end it.
Ah!
Oh,
Oh! Why did I have to get so drunk?
you know what? You, of all people, would have been equipped to go through a portal jump without a stasis pod because you're barely conscious at this moment.
Yeah. It's like you know how they say when like really drunk people get hit by cars, they don't get injured as badly because they just like ragdoll? It's like that, but
so
with
relaxed.
your brain. Yeah. Oh.
Okay, well, we got through all. You can honestly.
Wow.
Yeah, of course. I'm going to
Sorry,
leave this at your
Spence.
hands because you did this to them. You wanted chaos and you got some chaos.
I'd say so.
But we'll
Oh,
see
boy.
where you all end up. You got, congratulations. You probably fared better than 90% of people on this ship. And the Zoe problem is maybe
Going to be
Moot?
something
not
not
such
on
an
the
issue.
highest priority. Maybe like it's not a problem, but that's a problem.
Well, now Zoe might just be one of many, many, many bodies on this ship. So,
We'll
Yeah.
see. We shall see.
Mhm.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks for being good sports, all of you. It is a lot. So before we do this, we will see we'll see all of you wonderful people next, and What's on your mind? What's going on? And we'll start in the same order. We'll start with Clark.
Oh, wow. Okay. So that was intense and it never got less intense. Spence, I love you, but Niles is at the bottom of the list at this point.
It's not entirely Niles.
And the
hard.
thing that's it's like it's not him doing it. It's so oh man.
I just hear it's not my fault. And everybody's like, yeah, right, okay, sure. Yeah, so yeah, this is, I think, after the last time that Dahlia went into stasis, I think it's just as this was all happening, her last thought is, I'm coming to join you, Nadja, because she has no idea what's going to happen. But that's her thought, is where she's headed. This is a ride. This is a ride, y'all. Hi, I'm Kat. I'm at Clerk of Cord. I play games on the internet with my friends and get my heart ripped out and torn into pieces by my GMs and DMs. And I will be back here next week. I hope we see you with us. Chaos Chorus, we love you. You're awesome. Thank you for just shredding us. And well, actually, thank you for providing the opportunity for Shauna to shred us, because we have been shredded. And I love you dearly, Shauna. You're amazing. This is such a great story. And I know we're running late, so I'll end it there.
All right. And Marco, who got kind of blindsided, drunk.
Yeah.
Thanks, Colin. Thank you so much. It was.
Oh, yeah. Good thing Colin is not nearly as drunk as Marco is. Oh, boy. Wow. Okay, so a couple things. One, I need to stop handing all of my GMs really extra sharp plot daggers that you can use to stab me in the back. But you did. I kind of felt like it was coming. Like when we came to the ship, I thought, okay, this is where Sean is probably gonna absolutely shiv me. And
Marco
lo and behold,
flying so high after
flying so high, he was due for a knockdown. Overdue for a knockdown. Though I have to say, a couple. I have to give all the love in the world to Greybeard and Hawk for giving me a hug. Appreciated that. I really needed that. But also, Kat, Dahlia getting my jacket back is the sweetest thing anyone's ever done for one of my characters. That was so good. And hey, all those times I was talking about Niles being a zinger, I wasn't talking about Niles. You know what I mean?
These are all small.
It was a ruse. That was Shacuse. That was hilarious. But it was just great to have there was an interesting thing that was happening there. Great dramatic irony. I got to have a scene with Kat without actually having a scene with Kat, which was very interesting. And Spence, my dear boy, I'm so sorry that everyone hates you, but it will get better.
Are you sure?
I'm not sure.
Space demon come out of me. I'm not sure anything's gonna get better.
I'm not sure. I want so badly to be your friend. I'm just trying to find the angle. Anyhow, that hurt my heart in a lot of ways. That moment with Sylvia was like everything I was hoping it would be. That was so fantastic. Thank you, Shauna. You stabbed me deep, but I am a roleplay masochist, so bring it on, sister! Also, hi, I'm Colin, at Colin Amakat on Twitter, Discord, Twitch, and all the other places. Hit me up and talk about how sad my character is. See you next Tuesday, everybody. Oh, this Friday! Oh my god, this Friday I'm going to be on Master the Game playing Libertarian Santa Claus, so come see me. Me and Tom Grant, and Laura, and Chai, and Steve. These are all Encounter Roleplay people. They're all fantastic. All of them will be on that. It is so much fun. Please come see us Master the Game Wild Mount campaign. That is the end of my pitch. Take it away, Hawk.
All right. All right. I don't know what trouble you're all having. I'm in the middle of a revival meeting here, and it's going good for me right now.
You're in the big revival tent right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Only thing we're missing is passing the offering plate and making the altar call. That's all that's missing so far. So.
I mean, you have.
But anyway,
These guys make snake handling look sane.
So it sounds like it's gonna get fun and interesting with this. It'll be interesting to see how our Zoe gets maybe involved in what's happening with this here. I have a sneaking suspicion that there's gonna be some corollaries here. But anyway, I'm Kentucky Hawkeye, KY Hawkeye. You can find me on my channels. Thursday night is the conclusion of my current Skyrim serial, The Fang and the Claw, as we're going to be going up, taking on the Vampire Horde. Then I'll be getting ready for our next one. It's going to be a return of a character I first started with. It'll be return of my character, Eric Rosine, who's the current Archmage of the College of Winterhold, and he's going to have a blast from the past with that, and I'll just leave it at there. And then normally on Saturday night, 7 p.m. is my Grapplers Keep stream, where we have the WWE 2K20 universe for a number of DMs, GMs, and RPG players across Twitch universe. But there will not be Grapplers Keep this weekend because I'm going to do something I haven't been able to do since the middle of March. And that's leave the state of Michigan and go down to Louisville and spend some time with my wife. So I'm going to be out of town for the weekend and all that. So Grapplers Keep will resume at its regular time the following weekend. So otherwise, Cancer Cleric by day, RPG Fanboy by night. You'll see me either in my channel or working in fine places like this.
Hey, Hawk, it's belated, but happy anniversary.
Oh, thank you.
And our best friend. Oh.
So, Colin, check Discord. I need an answer real quick.
Yeah. Yes. Answer is yes.
Okay. So we're rushing. The alarms are sounding. Fahar flings Marco like a judo throw almost into the pod a little too hard, and then kind of oops, and then real quick leans in and kisses him on the forehead, and like tucks his arms in, and then closes the pod and hits the button on it, and then like totally dives into his pod and pulls the thing down because it's getting tense and weird and already, and he's scared, so scared.
Somewhere in England, Charlie just exploded when you.
It's after midnight.
Look at B-Mix chat.
So,
Yes.
All right, I gotta work now.
Oh my God!
You broke Charlie.
You broke Charlie.
So yeah, if Fahar dives in, it pulls down the lid in time. All night, wow, just so crazy, so tense. I really wanted there were a couple little details that I really was hoping to get in, like when Dahlia gets there to help calm down Fahar. It's that soldier thing where it's like, you know, get your shit together, you got to calm down, and he will follow her anywhere. So that's why he stopped. But in the end, as hell was breaking loose, he definitely grabbed hold of the grab sled with Zoe. He's got Marco with one hand, grab sled and Zoe, and wings her in, doesn't get her in a pod because he thinks she's dead beforehand. So yeah, and just so many seeds, and oh my God, it's so beautiful, Hawk. What's going on with you? And Niles. Fahar likes Niles because he hasn't seen a demon thing. He thinks, the lady told him that to give you some advice, and he did, and so yeah, so you've got one confused ally, so that's what made it the whole thing with kill the believer.
That's why the NT does not like you. Does not like you.
It's so beautiful, Sean. I'm not worthy.
Oh.
It's just gorgeous, just gorgeous. For me, check out my schedule. I got 2 or 3 things running right now, but the next time you can see me is Sunday morning at my place with a bunch of toys playing Darkest Dungeon. Take it away, Spence.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much for being such a good sportsman, Spence.
Oh,
Here and
God.
having
This is
stuff happen.
This is like tearing both me and Niles apart because Niles
We love you.
genuinely appreciates these people. He genuinely, even though they are suspicious of him, he understands why, and he genuinely likes them. And the fact that he can't truly, I'm not sure if "come clean" is the right word, the right phraseology, but can't truly be what he is because the skeleton in his closet that Dahlia saw, who knows? Like he's still got a couple, and hopefully that's revealed in the next couple episodes here. But it's 2 more. Oh my god! But I'm Spencer. I play a space demon possessed boy named Niles here on Tuesday. I'm at Spence the Old Taco on Twitter. That's really about it. I am both excited and horrified for next Tuesday, so feel free to come back next week and tune in.
Thank you very much. Thank you all of you for some stuff. But thanks.
Some stuff.
I'm Shauna Flying Cirrus on Twitter. I do art and on several art for the wall and Fridays mask game, so check that out. And next time you'll see me, I'll be on Wandering DM on Saturday for Black Flag of Pirates Part 5 The Apocalypse, where I am Ashley Niles because I am a demon possessed witch lady. So hey,
Huzzah!
Huzzah.
We have something in common.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, everybody on YouTube that's watching. Really comment if you like it. Also keep on Discord. There's all wonderful people talk about the games, and keep an eye out for even for like meat grinders if you want to try and have your characters play.
Die.
Maybe their characters die for a good cause. Charity games. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us, and let the cats see true and the darkness between the stars not get you. Thank you very much, everybody.